Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning. For a beautiful, sparkling shine that's crystal clear, call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
You know, if you're getting married soon and you need good entertainment, you need to contact John LEBANG. He's got 30 years of experience of wedding entertainment under his belt, and there is no one better and no one cheaper. He's running a special to the end of the year, $500 for your wedding if you book now. Contact John LEBANG by email at jlebang@live.com or go to his website. That's www.jlebang.com.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here in this last 30 minutes of this week's broadcasting. Before we get to any more news, I'd like to get to this week's winner of our Caption This game. It's a game you can participate in if you are friends with us on Facebook. And the winner of this week's caption gets a download code for the debut EP of the band Prowess. The caption is myself, of course, looking into the camera in disbelief. We've had a lot of good responses this week. In fact, I thought the responses, although not as numerous as the prior week, were actually more thought out. We had a couple that were in the running, but one really stood out. And that was by Nick Nostril. He says, "Do you expect me to believe this bullshit?" Because that is exactly what that look is that I had on my face. So, Nick, if you're listening, we're going to be sending you a download code here in the next few days. And if you're not listening, well, we're still going to contact you because this is a Facebook game. With that being said, let's move on a little bit to some of the headlines that we still have to touch on before we get on out of here. First off, we're going to go over to Texas, where they are setting early voting records in a non-presidential year. Early voting records. So more people are getting out before the election is actually happening to cast their vote for a candidate who, in the last days before the election, could be exposed to be some kind of dirtbag. See, I'm not in favor of these early voting situations that have cropped up all across the country. I am of the belief that if you can't get up on that day of the election day and get your butt over to the polling place when you've known what day the election is going to be, there's no dispute about it. We know election day is on this date. If you want to extend it at all, why don't they make voting a 2-day event versus something you can just send your stuff in whenever you want? Hey, I'm just going to vote early because all I do is vote Republican anyways, or all I do is vote Democrat anyways. So it doesn't matter how good the candidate is. See, I don't even make my decision as a voter until the very last minute. Because my candidate, even though I supported the non-election of Hillary Clinton, for the person who got my vote, it took right up until I had to cross that line in there to do the vote. I wasn't sure. I knew which way I was leaning, but I wasn't sure because something come out in the 11th hour that could be so heinous and damaging to a person that you may want to change your vote. And if you voted early, there's no way to do that. Then we have the Mr. Weinstein out there, who's now, he sends his lawyer out to say that sex to boost your film career is not rape. And of course, there are all kinds of people on Twitter and all these social media sites that are going after for these insensitive or derogatory comments. But I'm of the belief that those comments are probably true. These ladies, from all we can tell, weren't forced into it by any physical means. He's just saying, hey, if you want to get somewhere, probably because you don't have much talent. That's what I'm thinking. But if you want to get somewhere, I'll hook you up if you hook me up. He's just not going to bring on somebody, give them a boost in their career for nothing in return. The industry's never worked like that. If you want to be popular, you have to give up something. Either that or you have to do hard work. Now, the best of the best will rise to the top, and they don't have to do that. We're not talking about the best of the best in these cases. Because if Harvey would have seen a bunch of dollar signs with some of these models or some of these actresses, he wouldn't have needed to push the sex thing. He did that because, in my humble opinion, these people were probably not going to get the shot any other way. So he says, hey, you want a shot? I'll hook you up. Otherwise, you're not getting a shot. And it's not just from him. They're probably not getting a shot from the female agents and the other important people inside the Hollywood industry. And these women didn't have to partake in any of this stuff. They didn't have to go back to his rooms or his houses or his hotels or wherever they had these liaisons at. But they wanted to be stars so bad they did it. And now, maybe many years later, when they don't have much of a career, maybe they regret it. They say, man, I should have never did that because I'm still not getting anywhere. I didn't get anything out of it. Well, you probably weren't going to get much out of it anyways. He offered you a shot. And it's happened to men too. And men have probably had to do some, straight men have probably had to do some gay things to get ahead. That's just my opinion. But we have evidence of that in the media as well. And am I defending Harvey Weinstein? No. But I'm not defending the Me Too movement or the women who participated in this. He was doing this to women who wanted to be stars in Hollywood. And the only avenue was the way he offered. Because probably they didn't have the talent to get to that next level on their own. And that, I know that sounds terrible. That's mean. Well, life's tough, man. Then we have, all the way out in Africa, on the coattails of the Black Panther movie. See, I don't ever look at anything as coincidence when they happen so close together. But in Africa, the South African Parliament voted to seize white-owned land and, for now, they're not calling for the slaughter of white people. Not yet. White South African farmers will be removed from their land after a landslide vote in Parliament. The country's constitution is now likely to be amended to allow for the confiscation of white-owned land without compensation following a motion brought by radical Marxist opposition leader Julius Malema. It passed by 241 votes for and 83 votes against after a vote on Tuesday, and the policy was a key factor in the new president's platform after he took over from the prior president in February. So look at how fast that happens down there. They're saying that the time for reconciliation is over. Now it is time for justice. So people who had nothing to do with any apartheid or anything of that nature are going to have their land removed just because they don't have the correct amount of melanin in their skin. Now, it's only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen. Only a matter of time before the confiscation will be over. And then where are these people going to go? You're taking their land away from them. What's next? They're going to be refugees? Can we bring these refugees to the U.S.? Is there going to be a refugee program from South Africa because of the heinous government actions down in South Africa? What else is on the agenda? Oh, we had the man shoot himself outside the White House. That's an interesting development. Just goes out there and kills himself out the White House. Good for him, I guess. One less idiot in the world. You start wondering, maybe all the idiots will take themselves out, but they won't. They're going to take people out with them. So that's the biggest problem. Got the Oscars, if that matters. I don't know if anybody cares about the Oscars. Then we got all the trade war stuff that Trump had been talking about all week, where he was going to put tariffs on metal and aluminum, steel and aluminum or whatever. That got the stock market all jittery. Did anybody listen to him during the campaign? Because he did talk about putting tariffs on people. I mean, he didn't talk about taking guns away, confiscating guns. So that's where he's diverging from his apparent agenda, unless that was part of the agenda all along and they tricked us with Mr. Donald Trump. And then you got RuPaul, who's out there saying that the drag queen is a big FU to the male-dominated culture. Has anybody ever asked why the culture has been dominated by males? It's not because we were so evil to women. Then we're talking about pet cloning. We can that's good. In case you lose your pet, you can now have it cloned, because that's a good thing. That way you don't miss the pet. It's only a carbon copy of the real thing, but will the personality be the same? Will it act the same? I guess we should take a quick break, folks, as we're running up against the clock. We got about one more segment left in this week's broadcasting. Thank you for joining me. I don't know if I've expressed that enough to everybody, but thank you again for taking the time to be a part of the John LeBang Show. One more thing before we go. YouTube hits InfoWars with their third strike, as they're going to be shut down. It looks like YouTube is trying to take out Alex Jones. We'll be right back, folks.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Listening there. Don't go anywhere. The John LeBang Show is going to be right back. Just ask the hillbilly.
That's right. Right after this.
What about me? Maybe next time.
Fans, do you need a video for your brand new song but don't have a lot of money? Then contact John LeBang. His reasonable rates, professional look, and fast turnarounds will help get that song off the ground. Contact him at jlebang.com.
Powerful, epic music by Toothbox Row. Life-changing lyrics come in every style, empowering humanity to finally unlock the chains of bondage. Experience the edgy side of positive music and rock your world today. From Primal to Divine, available now at sassyalternativemusic.com.
Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
And now your favorite game show. Here's Celebrity Dropping Like a Deuce. If you want to win a prize,
Are you sure this is a good idea?
if you want to have a good time,
I have a bad feeling about this.
no need to sterilize.
Drop it like a deuce.